Yeah, so we're sitting around the camp talking, and we hear something like it wasn't a cow because we've been hearing cows. It wasn't a train because we heard the train horn and we've been hearing the
It's
train.
a lot more gravelly.
It was really gravelly and one sound straight through. It wasn't like yippee like a coyote would be.
After a month of travel.
Hello, I'm Tate Hieronymus. I am the creator of the Sasquatch: A Search for SABE series.
To the heart of the Midwest to investigate in the state of Iowa.
What's up?
Ontario Richardson.
And because
I'm Luke,
of its vast
head of pool.
fields
I was invited to
and
be a
the
minstrel
Florida
on this
unlike the
expedition.
Pacific Northwest, Iowa
And
is often
I'm Ron Reed. I made
to
an
the potential
appearance in
for Bigfoot
throughout the
habitat.
SABE series.
And for Tate, when it comes to
And then Pearl, I think you narrated this episode.
to this location.
Yes, I'm Pearl Rose, and thank you for having me narrate this adventure.
For sure. This is the... Ron, you know what's funny is, like, there's only a couple episodes you have never narrated it, throughout the whole series. And this is one of the episodes.
Yeah, and I appreciate the variety, and it just continues to present a new experience and sound, feel, and
the group gets ready.
I always enjoy like the other narrators and the other people that become involved with your projects.
I love reaching out to people and working with other people because, like, it's so much fun to, like, just work with, other creators like myself, and they always, it's so much, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. It's just, I love working with other people. So,
Well, yeah, it's good to open your network a bit.
yeah, exactly. Networking with other people and kind of getting to know people, and then, just, you can grow from there and stuff as a content creator, so. And just hang out, listen to some tunes, and then after that, we're gonna do a road walk. One group in one way, and another group in another way. So,
all right. So who do we have with us in our Iowa group?
So, introduce yourselves.
Ontario.
Jeremiah.
Caleb. What's up? And then you know me, and you know Ron. Man, there's this one part in this not the narration, but the episode, I sound like such a douche. But it's
Don't you always take?
Oh, thanks, guys. And the music.
Tell us something new.
You guys don't even want to know what happened off camera. The day Luke was there, I was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to do my stand-up comedy act," and I can't remember what I did, but. What was the joke
what you did.
What was the joke that I made, Ontario?
To me?
Yes.
Like what you said to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. You accidentally said MILF.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know what you were trying to say in exchange. I wonder that frequently.
I wasn't actually trying to say like MILF, but I think it was like I was trying to like make some kind of acronym or something. Because your name Ontario is like trying to make
Canadian, yeah, probably.
Some Canadian joke.
Probably. Just drank too much, just said MILF instead.
Either way, it was pretty funny.
Great first introduction to Tate. It really set the bar.
Yeah,
For the rest of the week, it's gonna be like.
Well, Luke, funny, he knew me from forever ago, but I don't think he actually knew what he was getting into.
I don't think any of us.
Yeah. You can look at this clip right now. You can tell I'm sick of dealing with Tate. This is like week 5 of a 5-week trip, of just dealing with Tate's Taterisms.
What was that Ron thing you say?
Wait, what?
I don't know if that's on public record. I don't know if we should bring that up. Tate makes a little song that teases me.
Yes,
that he made up.
Ron was just over it all weekend.
You know what? I'll sing it for you guys after the narration because it is so funny. So that's the plan.
It's just a jab at me that came out of nowhere. And it's still alive today. Even
That
You
day
can't-
was so hot too. Oh my gosh.
You can't look
Yeah.
cool.
Remember that?
Look how like stupid I look in the dark trying to walk up that little mound of dirt. Thinking I look cool on camera.
I'm not much better.
So this is the first night. We had a buddy of mine, Caleb, there.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing.
He hadn't squatched before, had he?
No, he hasn't.
So, like, what are you doing, Tate? What happened to the tree, and what's the purpose of doing that?
So basically, what we're doing is, so we split up into two groups. Me and Ontario, and then Caleb walked down one way, away from our camp, and then Ron and our buddy Jeremiah split off and went into another group. And so the idea is we're trying to knock back and forth, radio back and forth, to try and elicit responses from something, because it's known in great apes that they do wood knocking to communicate. It's an attribute of Sasquatch to do the same thing. That's how they communicate. Another way is whooping, like whoop, like that. Whooping is kind of like a harder thing to determine if it was a Bigfoot or not, because owls make some pretty weird sounds.
Yeah, especially the barred ones.
Yeah, barred owls make like this monkey chatter sound where it sounds like monkeys kind of fighting back and forth.
Bizarre.
But if you hear a knock, it's either some branch fell or something with hands hit a tree or did rock clacking. It's a little more easier to kind of determine what it is.
Well, and coyotes are kind of hard to mix up too with different Bigfoot vocals, and I know we had a ton of those that weekend.
Well, Luke was there for the one night that we'll talk about it when it comes up, but we kind of had something similar happen with that. And so the thing with the series I really like about it is, like, I've expressed this before, I really just want to show how boring it actually is in the field, and 9 times out of 10 you don't get anything at all. It's just dead silent, nothing. Do you have something you were going to say, Ron?
I like that shot that you had with like the vegetation in the foreground, and then you doing the wood knock in the background. That was really cool. Perspective.
You know what's crazy? It's like you mentioned, Ron, 5 weeks we were on the road, and you're not exaggerating, pretty much. And like, after like the first 2 weeks or whatever of not getting anything, it really gets to you. And like, by this time, you know, I've traveled from Florida to California, to Iowa. So it's like that weighs on your mind, and then not getting anything, you just get skunked out the whole time. That really brings you down.
Yeah. Did you guys get anything in Bluff? You guys got something in Bluff Creek that
we heard
just before this, because that's where you guys were at, I think.
We heard one thing at this place in Twin Lakes, possibly, and then that was about all that we got. And then we went to a spot in Mendocino that Ron had some stuff happen, and he got knocks.
I had to hike 5 miles into into a trail to get to a spot to have that activity, but
what's the reality of it?
Yeah, like that's a spot that's really special to me, but there's no road access. So you got to put on a backpack and head in.
All right, so we'll just walk back up the road where we came, and then Ron's like, "I'm gonna head out here," and I was like, "Okay, I'll stay with the cars." There was it's funny when you're by yourself, like in the middle of the woods. I thought about doing some like knocks or whatever, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to do anything, because if I hear anything, I don't know if I'll be able to.
When you're on your own,
I don't know if I'll be able to sleep the whole night,
especially at night.
Well, the other thing too, I forgot to mention this. So a little behind the scenes, it was the day Caleb was with us. When I went to go meet Caleb at the gas station, when we got to camp, I had the top down off my Jeep, and it's like a soft top. And I went to go pick up Caleb, and like the thing would not close, and I was very irritated. I'm like, oh my god, this sucks.
An understatement.
Yeah, no, I got really pissed off. And then when I got, it was like, what really made me pissed off was it started raining on me, and I could not close the thing. So I'm driving down the road, holding the top, holding the top down, and it ended up blowing back. And it was just not fun, and I got so mad, and we, I can't, you, me, Caleb, and everybody were, forcing the top down to try and to latch it. That was nuts.
You were, throwing parts from your Jeep.
I was, throwing, buckets and everything. But nothing expensive, so just more like...
And you ended up getting it to secure, I think, after a while.
Yeah, it just really... It put a damper on the trip. I was like, ugh. But just par for the course on the trip.
Did you hear any of the knocks? Yeah, but when we went up that other way.
Oh, look how cool Ron looks.
You could barely hear you.
He's got the same beard and hair again.
Yeah, not much has changed. It's been the look for a while.
Oh, really?
My beard actually got a little thicker.
So if you guys didn't hear my knocks, there's no way you heard us talking.
Yeah, you guys were hearing us talking, you said.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, the acoustics of that area. I don't know if the trail wrapped around a certain way below us.
You guys were on, did you just get off the gravel road when you were walking the other direction?
No, we just kept going that way, but...
Well, and I think it's kind of like a U shape, if I remember right, so it's not unheard of that we might hear something from each other, but I don't recall ever hearing you guys.
That's what's weird to me, because we lost radio contact because we were kind of far apart, and then obviously with, trees and stuff, the radio waves kind of interfere with that. So I don't know how you guys heard us, and we didn't hear you guys talk at all.
Well, it was humid as heck too, which I would think would damper the sound also, but
it was just weird. I don't know how. Maybe there was something there, and it was mimicking us or something. I don't know. I know that's a thing that's happened before.
Well, yeah, you guys had mimicry on your first trip there the year before. With the zipper.
Yes, yeah. So the first year we were there, me and Jeremiah, and I still kick myself over.
That was recorded, which is even cooler.
That was recorded, but what I kick myself over, it's this is very typical when you're in the field. You're not recording oh, nothing's going to happen, so you just don't record. Jeremiah and I had a tree pushed over.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah was like, dude, that's fireworks. I'm like, dude, that is not fireworks. There's no houses over there. So it's just one of those things that just things happen. You just don't prepare for, just really.
No, it always seems to happen when you don't have your recorder going or when you're changing out a battery or.
So, okay, this is the part right before this, actually. Luke was with us. Say hello, Luke.
Yo.
So yeah, Luke was playing some a song by his band, the Envy Corps. Luke, what song was it you were playing?
It was called Rooftop.
And then, because we did a couple songs, we did About Face and then Rooftop. And I was like, okay, I uploaded About Face on my YouTube channel. That's an amazing song. It's I'll put Rooftop in this because we were talking about doing music and everything to try and elicit some kind of response. But when I
want to have the official first Squatch fan,
This Squatch, Luke, how was
Squatch
this?
Approves.
How was this night? Because we ended up you ended up playing the song, and then we did some calls on the audio recorder, so through a speaker. And we got some stuff. What did you think? What do you think of all that?
I mean, this is my first experience, and I thought it was great. I'm really intrigued by the unknown, and I'm very curious about a lot of stuff. And it was cool to just hang out with y'all and understand what all brought you into the same orbit and kind of looking for the same thing. And it's kind of like being in a band,
Well, yeah,
trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, everyone comes from somewhere different.
Yeah.
100%. And Pearl, you definitely seen the episode. What do you think of everything that you've seen so far?
I think it's incredible. It's new. I mean, to me, it's brave. I mean, I've seen like, um, on TV, people looking for Bigfoot, and it's really fascinating knowing you and meeting you, and that you do this series. But also, I just think it's very brave to be out there and just hopeful and finding Bigfoot with all your techniques. And like you said, it's sometimes it could just be like, you don't find anything or there's nothing close, but you still keep going.
Oh yeah, like you got to be used to disappointment 100% in this field. And you know what? I think that's like, in a way, that's kind of made me a better person. And I guess it's made me like not afraid to ask people of anything, because like, what's the worst that's going to happen? They say no, right?
Exactly.
So like, what's the worst that's going to happen when you spend like $500 for a whole month-long trip or whatever, and you get nothing?
Well, you just have a good time in the woods.
Yeah, you get to spend time with your friends.
Keep your expectations in check, and then if you do, it's usually fun regardless, because if nothing happens, you're just hanging out with your friends.
100%. And it's just, even if we get nothing, it's whatever. Like, obviously, and you know what? I want to make this clear. I can't remember if I talked about it before. I'm not trying to prove Bigfoot to anybody or myself, because, I've had enough experiences personally that I think these things are real. That proves it to me. But I just kind of wanted to show, like, what it's actually like being in the field. Because you see, like, a lot of TV shows that's very... Like Finding Bigfoot. Finding Bigfoot's not a fake TV show. That I know. But, again, it's television. And so it's more entertaining than what you see, like, in person. In person, it's, like, very boring. You're just, like, you're talking like a bunch of stuff. And I think, Ron, we talked about this before in a previous commentary. It's, like, showing how we come up with, like, different techniques in the moment, And, I mean, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, when you're sitting out there, I mean, you take a lot of distraction out of your daily life, and you're just out there in the field, and you put in enough hours like you and I have, where it's like, okay, what hasn't been done before? What's going to work? Because, we're 2 weeks into a 5-week trip, and we've been doing the status quo, like the standard issue approach. What's next? What do we do? And then it's like, well, let's bring something new into the mix. And in our downtime, when we're back at home too, we're thinking of that, like, hey, let's, like, if wood knocking and whoops weren't enough in this particular area, what else could we contribute? And so, we try different things. We come out with like laser machines and things like that, just to kind of get a reaction, and
hunting dummies and lots of different things.
I think, well, they say, like, if you're going to go look for Bigfoot, if these creatures are as intelligent as we say they are, or, they get credit for being, you're not going to trick them, because there's no way. So the whole idea is to try and be as enticing as you can. And so, what's enticing to a creature that has high intelligence in the woods? Obviously, like, playing music is, it's high up there. But we've been taking it to a next level, like you kind of saying, Ron, trying different techniques, like playing laser shows and with music in the woods and everything.
Well, you're involving a lot more of the senses than just hearing.
Like, nobody's really doing that, and it surprises me. Like, why you guys aren't trying this stuff? And, like, we're just, like, going all out, like, hey, let's just try it. Let's see if it works. And, if it doesn't work, at least we had fun. But if it does work, bonus.
Still data.
Yeah, I think just we're not professionals by any means, but we've been exposed to professional level practice in the way that, like you build these techniques or develop your approach from the ground up, and it has as many points of consideration that professionals in the field, seem to have. So one thing I think is impressive is, as a Bigfooter for a decade, and then taking a recent environmental field skills class where you learn about an actual approach of collecting wildlife data. I had learned a lot of that through Bigfooting and just trial and error and thinking critically, and like trying to get in the head of the animal that I'm pursuing, and then taking a formal education. I was kind of shocked to say I'm aware and currently practice a lot of this in Bigfoot research, and drawing comparisons of how people collect wildlife data on moose and bear and known animals. We're like right up there. We've been doing it to the same level of complexity in what we're doing here in these videos.
And it's not like, I think the only thing separating us from professionals is actually like the whole PhD thing,
Yeah, like terminology and a better understanding of advanced biology. Like there's not, we lack that, but we still have the observational skills and the data collection and a lot of those things. Like, we're out there with collecting audio evidence and looking for tracks, and there's still a skill set, developing there. And it's a testament to our dedication to the subject.
Well, like the first few episodes of the series, it kind of showed like how scientific we are being with the field. Because the second episode of the Bluff Creek one, you were collecting the hair samples that you found on the tree. You were using gloves and you put them in an envelope, and then we saved them. We took them to Cliffs Museum in Oregon, and then we took it. We got his opinion, and then we got a second opinion from Dr. Jeff Meldrum, professor of, how do you say? I can't now. I'm blanking. He's a professor at Idaho State University of anthropology.
Like anatomy and something else.
Yeah, and anatomy. So we got his opinion on that. So it's just kind of cool stuff to do, and like I've made a lot of cool friends doing this, and like it's funny. Like I think anybody can do Bigfoot as long as you have like a basic degree of the environment that you're in. Just kind of knowing the like animal patterns and everything, because if you know what bears are going after, which are like pretty much snakes, frogs, deer, is pretty much what a Bigfoot's going to go after. Any apex predator is what a Bigfoot's going to go after too.
Yeah.
So you're not like really searching that far off. They're going to be in the same type of environment. And then there's whole things with the coyotes, which is called. There's a whole thing with like Bigfoots mimic coyote calls, and then Bigfoots will kind of stay around coyotes because there's a whole thing called power scavenging, which is like if coyotes find like a kill, or if they do kill something, a Bigfoot will kind of like drive the coyotes away and steal the kill.
Yep.
Which I find very interesting. So I don't know if there's much truth to that. I don't think there's much recorded evidence of that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not of Bigfoot, but I mean, it's present in other animal behaviors.
100%.
Credence, for sure. And there's a lot of correlatives of, I mean, even just Bigfoot and black bears sharing a lot of the same behaviors and traits and whatnot, which I think just gives more credence to the subject personally, but...
Pearl or Luke, do you guys have any thoughts you want to add or any questions you want to ask about anything that you might be thinking?
No, thanks for having me on, and yeah, it's interesting to see your all's viewpoints on this like a year later.
Yeah, it was nice recapping with everybody and talking to everybody we haven't talked to in quite a while.
Totally agree. Thank you for having me on, and it's really, I know y'all don't call yourself like experts, but on my perspective, it's exciting getting to listen to your perspective, your adventure, and I don't know, it's cool. I really do think it's cool.
That a Sasquatch would travel through, but not necessarily stay in for long periods of time. Nevertheless, this area has potential, and with the activity Tate experienced last year, Tate will continue to return to this location on his search for SABE.